Sok szeretettel köszöntünk mindenkit, és először is elnézést kérünk a technikai azért. Nagyon örülünk, hogy mindenki eljött és meg fogja nézni az indiai színésznő Navjot Randhwa előadását. Ez egy szóló előadás Amrita Sher-Gilről. De mielőtt elkezdjük, szeretném megkérni nagykövet úr feleségét, Madame Kavitácsabrát, hogy mondjon néhány szót Amritáról önöknek.
Namaskar to the students, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by thanking the mayor for inviting us and hosting this play in this beautiful town of Dunaharasztiban.
Namaskar, mindenkit szeretettel köszöntök, diákokat és vendégeket. Először is szeretném megköszönni polgármester úrnak a meghívást, és hogy megrendezték itt ezt az előadást. Köszönjük szépen.
In normal occasions, the master speaks and I sit down. He was not supposed to be here, so that is why I am speaking and he's listening.
Először úgy volt, hogy nagykövet úr nem fog tudni jönni, de mégis megérkezett az elejére, és mivel úgy beszéltük, hogy én fogok beszélni, mert ő nincs itt, ezért most én fogok beszélni.
So let me begin by telling you a bit about Amrita Sher-Gil while she'll translate.
Én fogok fordítani.
Okay. I think they can hear me. Okay. Amrita Sher-Gil, a mother of modern Indian art, was from a mixed Indian and Hungarian race, as you all are aware. She was one of the greatest avant-garde artists of India in the early 20th century. Government of India declared her work as treasure, Indian national treasure.
Amrita Sher-Gil a modern indiai művészet anyja, ahogy bizonyára mindannyian tudják, indiai és magyar nemzetiségű is volt egyszerre. Ő volt a 20. század elejének egyik legjobb avantgárd művésze. Az indiai állam a festményeit indiai nemzeti kincsé nyilvánította.
Life in India was not easy for an artist in the late 19th and early 20th century, certainly not for a woman. She was a pathbreaker and believed in women empowerment. Most of her paintings showcased women oppression and discrimination. Painting was for her a medium of expressing the plight of women in India then.
Indiában a késői 19. században és a 20. század elején nem volt könnyű dolga egy művésznek, főképp, hogy nő volt. Amrita ilyen szempontból úttörő személyiség volt, és hitt a nők jogaiban. Festményei nagy része ábrázolja a nők elnyomását, illetve kirekesztését. A festményeivel próbálta ő kifejezni a nők elnyomott helyzetét az akkori Indiában.
However, today I'm not going to speak about her inspiration, achievements or awards. I'm going to highlight a few points of her spirit, what made her vibrant and so bright.
Bár én ma nem fogok beszélni azokról a dolgokról, amelyek őt megihlették, sem az eredményeiről és a díjairól, inkább azt emelném ki néhány pontban, hogy mi volt ez a tűz, az a szellem, amitől ő ilyen ragyogó és kitűnő festő lett.
Amrita was rebellious by nature even as a child. She vehemently opposed the compulsory attendance in the mass of the church of a school in India. She declared herself an atheist at the age of 11, thus was expelled from school in 1924.
Amrita már gyerekkorában is lázadó természetű volt, szenvedélyesen ellenezte a kötelező templomba járást például a misére, ott, ahol iskolába járt Indiában. Már 11 évesen ateistának vallotta magát, amiért 1924-ben kisúrt meg az iskolából.
To the students, I'm not saying that you become rebellious and get expelled.
De ezzel nem azt mondom, hogy minden diáknak így kell viselkedni egyébként.
Her parents did not stress on her actual schooling because they realized her talent very early on. So at the age of 16, she was on a boat to Europe from India for an art school. Even at the art school in Italy, she was miserable, for she hated suppression of her personality. She always created her own artwork from imagination. Thus, the dull routine of copying made the class very boring for her.
Amrita szülei nem aggódtak túlságosan az épp aktuális iskolai helyzetén, mert már korán tisztában voltak a tehetségével. Ezért aztán Amrita 16 évesen már egy hajón ült Európa felé, hogy egy művészeti iskola tanítványa legyen. Viszont ő még Olaszországban ebben a művészeti iskolában sem érezte jól magát, mert nem szerette, hogy elnyomják természetét, és nem tudja kifejezni magát úgy, ahogy szeretné. Mindig képzeletből festett, és így az unalmas és előírt rajzórákat annyira nem kedvelte.
Later in Paris, he is said to have painted with conviction and maturity rarely seen for a 16-year-old. Her exposure to contemporary painters of the Bohemian movement began to seep into her art and nature.
Később már Párizsban azt mondták róla, hogy olyan meggyőződéssel és érettséggel festett, ami nem jellemző egyébként a 16 évesre. Az akkori bohém kortárs művészeti mozgalom hatásai pedig elkezdtek beszűrődni a festészetébe.
However, she was enchanted with her Indian roots, and she wrote to a friend, and I quote, "I can only paint in India. Europe belongs to Picasso, Matisse and Barak. India only belongs to me."
Mindezek ellenére indiai gyökerei elbűvölték őt, és ezt írta egyik barátjának. Csak Indiában tudok festeni. Európa Picassohoz, Matissehoz, Brackhoz tartozik, India viszont csak az enyém.
She was passionate about life, yet she harbored deep sense of melancholy that she expressed in her art form. It is clear that her artistic mission was to express the lives of Indian people through her vivid paintings.
Amrita szenvedélyes életet élt, mégis mély melankólia lengte körül, amelyet képein keresztül fejezett ki. Tisztán látszik, hogy művészeti missziója az volt, hogy az indiai emberek életét életerős képein keresztül ábrázolja.
As a prominent writer, Khushwant Singh aptly wrote, and I quote, "A life cut tragically short, but with more color perhaps than one may find in her work."
Khushwant Singhtől, a híres indiai írótól idézek, aki írta a következőket Amritáról. Tragikusan rövid élete volt, de talán még több szív nem, mint amit a munkáiban találunk.
Before I end, I'd like to point out there's a link between Amrita Sher-Gil and me. I'm neither a product of a mixed race nor rebellious. The commonality is the same school in Shimla where she was expelled from for declaring herself an atheist. That's where I studied as well.
Mielőtt befejezem, még szeretnék kiemelni valamit, az Amrita és köztem lévő kapcsot. Én ugyan nem vagyok sem kevert nemzetiségű, sem lázadó természetű, viszont ugyanabba az iskolába jártam Simlában, ahonnan annak idején Amritát eltávolították.
We all look forward to seeing the play by Navjot Randhwa on Amrita Sher-Gil.
És akkor most pedig következzen Amrita Sher-Gilről szóló előadás.
Thank you.
My dear Amrita, today, the 13th of December 1944, is my first day at Buchenwald concentration camp. It is strange. I'm surrounded by jackbooted Nazi pigs, but I don't feel hopeless. It feels like I'm in the Middle Ages, and as if I'm caught up in a freak show. I'm not afraid, because you rooted me in freedom. Freedom of the spirit that no one can take away from us. The freedom to think, to be free inside, to be free even when trapped inside these man-made walls. It is this freedom that will help me see through the horror to the humanity, the beauty and the comedy, to appreciate the insanity that goes on in here. It will help me to sustain my artistic self. I miss you, immortal Boris.
When I was a little girl in Budapest, I used to imagine a world without any doors, locks, keys, and barriers. I used to often ask my mother, "Mama, how can you be sure that the person for whom you open the door and who takes your permission to come inside will not walk out one day without even telling you?" And sometimes I would gather courage and ask my father, "Papa, how do you know who stays and who leaves?" Maybe that woman who only came to your house once has stayed on forever, even if you can't smell her perfume in your attic anymore. But this other woman who's been living with you for 10 years now left your bed long ago. The day she started differentiating between diamonds and rust, forgetting that we will all be damned one day, and the moon will be full again after a few empty, sleepless nights. Have you ever wondered what this world would have been like if there were no locks and no keys? I could have strayed into your man's arms without being afraid of a doorbell ringing, or you turning up at the door with your set of keys to give your man a surprise. And you could have come anytime to my house, joined me and Mummy for dinner, and just for that one night we could have discussed poetry and philosophy. And just for that one night we could have gotten very drunk on delicious wine, and just for that one night we could have danced with our tongues and feet, and all would have been unlocked to each other. No bolt, no key. We could have all lived a little bit more if we were just a little bit more free. Boris, do you remember the first time you met my parents? It was quite an unforgettable evening, wasn't it? I have a wonderful idea. Let's play a few scenes. Let's reconstruct that evening. Come on, Boris. I want to pay the price of my freedom. I want to bleed a little. It was your first time at my parents' apartment on the Champs-Élysées in Paris. You were hiding behind me as if I was your cover. You were so nervous you were following me as if you had been attacked. You were thinking, "Don't knock down the porcelain vase, Boris. No, don't dirty the carpet." You were so uncomfortable. You were in a total panic. And just then, Mummy appeared. Oh my God. She looked so elegant in that beautiful white dress. You were bowled over, weren't you? But you were confused. Oh my God, Amrita's mother is Hungarian? Why did I think she was a Himalayan bird? Oh, she's an opera singer, but of course she's Hungarian. You were so confused that you made a fatal mistake. You put your hands in your pockets and you said, "Bonjour, madame," and you waited for the result of her smirking examination. Why don't you speak Russian, Mr. Le Painter? You're Russian, aren't you? I'm French. I was born in France. My parents were forced out of Russia a long time ago. Uh-oh. You just wanted to get out of there. You knew this was perhaps the end. But before you could head for the door, Papa appeared with his long black umbrella. You were petrified. Who is this weird man? But no, Papa was very simple. He just shook your hand and said a few words in Hindi, which of course you didn't understand. Boris, Papa just wanted you to be at ease. In fact, he wanted to show you the apartment so that you would know where the toilets were. I think he could see the panic dribbling down your leg. I will never forget the way you described Papa to me later that evening. You said his face was beautiful and soft, just like yours. But you were amazed at how thin he was. You thought that maybe his body had been nullified by the unending immobility of yogic meditation. So you even tried to crack a joke. You said if we gave him his weight in gold every year, he would barely be able to pay his taxes. Well, the joke did not go down too well with Mama. So while the servants were covering the tables with 1,000 desserts and carafes of wine, you were being introduced to the German composer, the Italian poet, the barons of everything, and the princess of everything else. What the hell am I doing here? So you again headed for the door. You did not break anything. You did not smash into anything. But you did announce the radical transformation of society. Égalité, liberté, fraternité, assez. Enough, Monsieur le Français. Just leave. Leave. This is unbelievable. You're also a communist. Later that night, I went to my father's study. Papa, don't you think Mummy was a little bit too harsh with Boris tonight? I mean, you say that dirt and disorder of all kinds is a natural byproduct of art and genius. But Mummy treated Boris like real dirt today. It's not polite. Your mother believes in this family's reputation. So you think I'm disgracing the family? I thought I was the apple of your eye. No, yes, you are very selfish sometimes. I'm not selfish, Papa. I'm a martyr. I'm a martyr of art. When did you become so arrogant? It's not arrogance, Papa. It's not arrogance. It's discernment. I'm just too soft otherwise. If I don't become hard about things, I will never make up my mind. I let everything go. Excuses. Excuses to say whatever whatever you like, to do whatever you like. You are not just an artist or a lover. You have other roles, Amrita. You're a daughter, you're a sister. Okay, Baba, enough. I can't take this anymore, so I'm leaving. You are always running away from reality. A person has to find their own way, their own reasons. You have to feel abandoned in art. Life does not allow that. Life wants to bludgeon you. So you have to steal your part. You have to steal your part in the whole and keep it for yourself. You cannot steal happiness, security. You work together with us. You work with your mother and me, and we will find it together. Papa, it's not stealing like that. You just don't understand, do you? It's making a claim. You just don't want to find out what makes me happy. Your immorality will consume your intelligence. I am not immoral. I expect it from all of them, but what do you mean I'm immoral? Amrita, I'm just worried about your future. I don't like it when people talk nonsense about you. And all these men and women that you... I barged out of my parents' house and walked along the river Seine until I was tired. When I reached my studio in Montparnasse, Boris was waiting for me. He was very angry with me because I had left him alone at the party, and Mummy had cornered him and warned him, "Don't you ever touch my daughter, okay? You're good looking, you are an artist, it's all very well, but you will not touch my daughter because you're a communist." Then he suddenly asked me, "Will you marry me?" Why? Why? Are you really asking me that? Because you're everything I ever wanted. Because you are revolution personified. Oh, Boris, don't talk about revolution. Revolution always leads to pain. I mean, look at what's happening in India. Anyway, revolution is too French of an idea for me. I'll tell you about revolution. It's not your Indian variety. My father disappeared because of the Russian Revolution. My aunt died because of the Russian Revolution. So we can talk about Russian Revolution or French Revolution or Indian Revolution all night if you want to, because I know what I'm talking about. Okay, Boris, we both know what we're talking about. Do you remember the first time we met at the painting school and you asked me my name? Yes, you had said it's immortal. Do you know why I said that? I said I am immortal because I already am.
reason that I should come and see you.
Why are you a doctor? It wasn't your area of expertise.
It would have made me happy to cheer you up.
You said suffering and pain, you should embrace it.
No, not in solitude all the time. No, not by pushing away.
I had an abortion.
Was it mine?
None of your business.
Ah!
Sorry.
Ah!
Shh.
Ah!
Listen. Shh. So when I came back after a long absence to Boris's studio, his first question was not what you just saw. He asked me, "Where have you been?" I said I was working. I needed some time to paint, to recollect my thoughts. When I told him what had really happened, he asked me, what was his name? I said, her, not his. Her name was Jugni, a firefly. touch, maybe. And even then, there is something wrong between the white of the background and the red of the cape. You can fool yourself and believe that you love me. But a painting never lies. It always tells the most bitter truth, Boris.
Proud and haughty, rich, spoiled brat! You think the whole world revolves around you, don't you? Well, it doesn't. You're just another drop in this giant whirlpool. You haven't got the first idea about the real world, the actual world. Oh, yeah. Begging maman, papa for money. Oh, yes, I'm a real bohemian. I slum it in Paris with all the men. Look at my dark brown eyes. You love it, don't you? Yes, of course you do. Let me be sure you do before I laugh in your face, because I believe in ideas, not in relationships. I wouldn't know the real world if it broke down on my doorstep and begged me to look at it. I'm free! Oh, yes. I'm a fucking tourist in the slums. I'm so fucking free. Got you, hasn't she? You sad sap. She's clouded you with her melancholy breath. Look at you. Impotent and sad. Clutching at your big red balls. Always clutching, clear! Ah, yeah. Yeah, she's the fantasy. She's exotic. She's the Black Panther. She's everything else. Look at all your fucking principles. Just fuck off! Disproportionate, impotent. This is me, this. Looking down, away from all this humiliation! Accuse you of all the things you accuse me of, but it's no reason. No reason to walk out like that, you know it's not!
My love, my true love.
someone else you loved. Do you remember? I cried today, I cried tonight, but then I stopped. I thought I would come here to lead a saintly life, to forget you. You came here now to trouble me, to further humiliate me. Go away. My eyes should not see you.
My dear Amrita, today, the 13th of December 1944, is my first day at Buchenwald concentration camp. It is strange. I'm surrounded by jackbooted Nazi pigs, but I don't feel hopeless. It feels like I'm in the Middle Ages, and as if I'm caught up in a freak show. I'm not afraid, because you rooted me in freedom. Freedom of the spirit that no one can take away from us. The freedom to think, to be free inside, to be free even when trapped inside these man-made walls. It is this freedom that will help me see through the horror to the humanity, the beauty and the comedy, to appreciate the insanity that goes on in here. It will help me to sustain my artistic self. I miss you, immortal Boris.
Végezetül házigazdaként nagyon szeretném megköszönni mindenkinek, excellenciás úrnak és kedves feleségének, hogy megtisztelte intézményünket, minden kedves vendégünknek, aki jelen volt, végignézte az előadást. Köszönöm szépen a részvételét. És külön szeretném még megköszönni a közös munkát a kapcsolattartó kolléganővel.